Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review we are looking at NECA's Ghost Predator from their Series 16 of the Predator line, which they're kind of known for. Obviously they're actually working on, I think, Series 17 already, maybe even 18. It's up there, is my point. They've been making these guys for forever, and I finally got some to review, and I have to say I am very impressed. Now, I'm not particularly invested in the Aliens or the Predators, but I've always had kind of a fondness for the Predators, so I do really like these. I'm not especially biased, but I have to say these figures are particularly impressive, especially given the price point. So let's just get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 8.5 inches tall, which makes him just about 21 centimeters, right around there. And just for some size comparison, because I happen to have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man with me, that's what we're looking at right here. The Predator is significantly taller. He comes up to only about the diaphragm joint. And they're basically the same price. These guys might be like $2 more. On average. Obviously it could vary depending on the store, but that just goes to show the value you get with these figures. Now, some people I've heard say that the QC isn't good enough. You know what? It might not be 100% perfect, but I've had more Marvel Legends with the wrong limbs on their bodies than I've had NECA figures with problems. So, I don't know. I don't think it's a universal issue. Plus, like I said, you're getting so much more for your money. I can't get over how much of a figure this is for the price point, given what we normally get out of domestic companies today. So before we look at the figure up close, let's look at the accessories. We do have his little machete-type blade. We have a large spear. We have his throwing disc. And we have his helmet, which all look really cool. The spear might have a little bit of bending or warping from the packaging, but some hot water will fix that up, no problem. The disc does fit in the thigh holster, so that's a pretty cool feature. I like that. And you can, of course, put his fingers through the holes to have him holding it. So it's kind of nice. We do get one other little bonus thing, which isn't really an accessory, but it's worth mentioning, and that's the blaster on top of the shoulder pack. It's got a hinge where it connects, and then it has a ball peg for the blaster itself. Now, be aware that's a very tiny hinge, and it can pop apart, but it shouldn't break. So you should be able to just put it back on there, and if it doesn't want to stay on, just give it a little squeeze with some tweezers, and you'll see that the hinge lines up very nicely. At first, mine was a little bit warped from the packaging, but it's on there no problem at all. Technically, this piece is an accessory since it's not on him in the package, but it's really meant to be a permanent piece, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Now, the figure, detail-wise, this thing is fantastic. Now, it is a remake or a reimagining of the old Kenner figure. That's what this whole wave is. So, as far as having the mesh on here and it not being painted, I don't know if that is a direct, intentional throwback type of thing, or if it's just a matter of it costs too much to sculpt an entirely new Predator to make the Kenner wave. I'm not sure, but I have to say I thought it was going to bother me more. It's really not, because the paint job on this guy is so phenomenal everywhere else. He's got this really cool pearlescent-y, whitish, beigeish, sand-colored skin with the brownish and pinkish spots and lines all over him. Very, very aesthetically pleasing. Plus, he's a traditional-looking Predator. I mean, if memory serves, it's a repaint of the Jungle Predator. Is that the one? You guys know, like I said, I'm not super into the whole Predator thing, but it's a classic look, and I think that's partly why I really like it. But the quality is just so nice. I mean, there's shading on everything. You can see his loincloth has a few different shades and dry brushes. The armor has at least a few. It's got a really nice kind of patina look to it. You've got the gunmetalish gray with the silver dry brushing with some brown mixed in there for the low lights. It's just very, very appealing overall. Very aesthetically pleasing. They're going to look great on a shelf, that's for sure. And I'm kind of gushing over these just because I didn't realize they were going to be this good. I'd have been buying these guys from the beginning if I knew they were this cool, even though I'm not a huge Predator person. Let's take a quick look at the face, because it's very impressive. You can see the jowls, or the mandibles. They do come over in front of the mouth, but the mouth is still fully painted, so that's really cool. And the eyes are very recessed, but they're very nicely painted also. Love the look of these guys. Yeah, you can technically see the seam where the mouth is connected, but it's not too bad. And even on this side, you don't see it as much. So I'm going to give them a little bit of slack there. The hair is also all individually sculpted and painted. I guess it's hair, right? I don't know. What is it? You guys can tell me, all you Predator people. Is that technically hair? It doesn't look like hair. Is it just some kind of alien Predator hair, or what is it? Is it something? I don't know. You can let me know. He does have this piece here, by the way, which is not really an accessory, but it is a separate piece, so it'll move around. It's just like a necklace with some bones on it. Okay, let's talk articulation. I'm done talking about how good the sculpt and the paint is. The head is on at least a single ball peg. It might be a double, I'm not sure, but it does have really good range. It gets a little bit stiff because you have that hair bunching up against the cannon thing on his back, whatever this thing is. So you can have some limitations, but as you can see, I got the head over pretty far, and then of course you can do it the other way, no problem. It does feel like it might just be a single ball peg, but either way, you get pretty good range out of it. He can look up a little bit, not a ton, but enough, and then of course he can look down a little bit too, which will be necessary because he's so much taller than every other figure. For the shoulder on this guy, it does have the standard ball hinge and bicep swivel, but as you'll notice, this armor piece right here is connected to the chest with a little tuber. And this armor piece is connected to the bicep, so as you move the shoulder or the bicep, this is going to be stressed, and it could potentially tear or at least pop out of where it's glued in. So you need to be very careful when you're posing this guy. You can move the arm a fair bit without having any issues, but if you aren't careful or cautious as you're doing it, it will definitely come apart. Same thing is true of this piece. In fact, I already tore mine off. That's mostly because I wasn't paying attention when I was posing it. I didn't realize this was even there, and then I messed it up. But it can easily be glued back in. Just be careful, though. It technically has enough flex and enough range for the double hinge to work. You just need to be extra cautious. Like, what happened for me is I actually slipped off and just pulled it out on accident, but that's what I did. So just be careful with that. You do have the same range on this side as this side, minus the limitations by the armor. So I'll show you what you have over here. You have the full double jointed elbow, which works fine. Just be very careful. And then you have the bicep swivel, which will, as you can see, be a problem with that tuber. And you have the full hinge, which doesn't go quite out all the way, but goes out pretty far. So use caution. He does have the articulation, but if you want to have tubers and things, it's going to limit it a little bit. So just be aware of all of that. You have a forearm swivel where the gauntlet thingy is. And then, of course, you have a full ball peg for the wrist, which gives him pretty good range. So that's all right. You have a ball peg for the upper torso, so you can rotate it around. Full rotation, no problem at all. You can lean him back, not a ton, but a little bit. You can lean him forward, again, not a ton, but a little bit. And side to side, same thing. Not the greatest range of motion. Could be better, but it's not bad. And then you have a waist twist right here. It's not a ball peg as far as I can tell. It's just a waist twist. For the hips, you have your standard T-jointed ball hinge hips. You can bring the legs pretty far forward, not all the way, but probably enough, I guess. You can bring the legs pretty far out to the side. You can see the armor here is separate, so it won't get in the way too much. Yeah, you're not going to be doing the splits, but it's not too bad. Then you have your thigh swivel. The hips do seem to feel a little bit loose after you move them around a little bit, so definitely could be better. Double jointed knees give you really good range, and they look good, so no complaints there at all. And then for the ankles, you just have a ball peg, so it's pretty limited. So yeah, they do have some drawbacks. They have some problems. You can see, obviously, I had some issues with the shoulder there. Obviously, if you don't pull on it, it's not going to pop off, so that's my fault. But still, there are limitations. But I think even with those limitations, you're still getting more than your money's worth just in the sculpt and paint alone. Plus, they come with accessories, and they're still fairly well articulated, so I don't think you can really do much better. If you're into this franchise at all, I think you should at least pick up one of these figures, one that you think you like, maybe this one, and see if you want to collect them. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff, so come back for that. And make sure you give the video a like if you did. And in the meantime, keep collecting.